Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. Today I wanted to make a GitHub tutorial, extremely basic tutorial on how to do pulls, how to initialize, how to manage your GitHub, basically how to do your add, commit, your push, starting from scratch because I know there are a lot of questions regarding GitHub and sometimes the process is a little confusing. Because you're dealing with terminal and a remote repository, and sometimes your files are out of sync. So let's go ahead and run through this. So basically, right now I am in my home directory, and what I want to do is let's go to the desktop. So from desktop, I'm going to make a new directory called WATS 2000 test app. So in here, WATS 2000 test app. Okay, perfect. So now there's nothing in here, right? What I want to do is I'm gonna touch a file and call it like my new file. So now there's this new file here called my new file. So in here I'm going to write some stuff. Hello. Welcome to WATS 2000. Oops, 20,000. Okay, cool. So you don't really need to worry about that. I was just creating a file and filling it in with some content. So now I have this new file called my new file, and let's go to GitHub to create a new repository. Let's call it WATS 2000 test, and sure, let's initialize it with a README. Because that's good coding practice. So from here, you see my remote repository has a README, but my local repository has a new file called my new file. So clearly these two are out of sync. And what I'm going to want to do to teach GitHub what changes I have been making and how to do pushes correctly, I'm going to need a pull first. So I need to go grab the files from whatever's on the remote repository, sync it locally, and then from there I can push. And that way GitHub will know what files haven't changed and what files have, and to only only commit the files that have changed. So what I want to do first is do a git init to establish a connection between my local repository and my remote repository. And git init just says, okay, cool, like let's make a git, let's start something with git. And now I want to say git remote add origin and then grab this URL here. That will establish the connection between my local repository and where my remote repository is. So once that happens, I could do a git pull. And I generally want to do a git pull first because I want to, merge the changes from my remote repository and my local repository. I want to do all those changes locally. I want to, put them all together, compile all together locally. So let's go ahead and do that. And now you can see that I should have a README in there too, and a .git folder. The .git folder is just this hidden folder that stores all of your Git related information. For instance, like earlier where we designated the remote repository location, what changes have been made this time around, etc., etc. So if I do a git status now, see this says my new files in red. It means these are untracked. I will need to do an add first and then stage it. So let's go do that. Git add that. So now it should be green. Cool. So these are changes that need to be committed. So now I need to say git commit -m first commit. So now these should be staged, ready to be pushed onto the server. So in order to do that, I need to say git push origin master, designate the branch, and might need to log on. Yeah. So here we go. So now it just pushed all my changes to the remote repository. And now if I refresh this page, it has my new file. So now what you see here is both my remote repository here and my local directory are synced and the files are the same, and whenever I want to make a change, I definitely always want to make the change like locally, whether it's in the terminal or it's in Atom or Sublime or whatever text editor you have. So when you change code, you're doing it all locally. And then finally, when you're done, you go through the process of add, commit, and then attach a message, and then push. So that will get you up and running for a new GitHub repository, just to clear the air on how to sync things properly, how to set up Git so that you're good to go for the rest of your app development. So thanks for listening, and I hope this helped. Thanks.